Welcome to the Wealth Pocket. What if I told you? You were programmed to stay broke. Not by accident, but by design. And the scariest part, you don't even realize it's happening. From the moment you were born, you were taught how to survive, not how to become wealthy. School didn't teach you money. Your job doesn't create freedom. And society rewards obedience, not independence. So if you've ever wondered, why am I working so hard but still not rich? This video will change how you see everything. The system, let's be real, the system was never built to make you rich. It was built to create workers. People who wake up early, work long hours, and repeat the cycle for 40 years. You were taught, get good grades, get a safe job, work hard, retire someday. But here's the truth, that formula creates average lives, not wealth. Because real wealth doesn't come from working harder. It comes from thinking differently. The mindset trap, you don't stay broke because of money. You stay broke because of programming. Think about it, when you hear, money is hard to earn, rich people are greedy, be realistic, don't dream big. Those aren't facts, they're beliefs, installed in your mind. And once you believe them, you act accordingly. You stop taking risks. You avoid opportunities. You settle for less. That's not lack of ability. That's mental conditioning. The time for money trap. Here's the biggest lie you were told. Work more, earn more. But there's a problem. Time is limited. You can only work so many hours in a day, which means your income is capped. Rich people don't trade time for money. They build systems that make money without them. Businesses, investments, assets. While you're working for money, they're making money work for them. The comfort zone prison, another way you're programmed to stay broke. Comfort, you're taught to avoid risk, play it safe, stay secure. But wealth lives outside comfort. Every successful person had to take risks, fail, start over. Meanwhile, most people stay stuck because they're afraid to lose what little they have. And that fear keeps them exactly where they are. Breaking the program. So how do you escape? First, awareness. Once you realize you've been programmed, you can start rewriting the code. Second, change your inputs. Read books about money. Follow people who are already successful. Learn skills that create income. Third, take action. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Because nothing changes until you do. You were programmed to stay broke. But you don't have to stay that way. The system only works if you never question it. So question everything. Think bigger. Move differently. And most importantly, start building your own path. Because the moment you wake up is the moment everything changes. You were programmed to stay broke. Not by accident, not because you're lazy, but because someone benefits from you staying exactly where you are. And the truth is, the moment you realize this, you can never unsee it again. Look at your life. You wake up tired. You work all day. You barely have time to think. And at the end of the month, your money is gone. Again. And you tell yourself, maybe next month will be different. But it never is. Because you're not stuck. You're controlled. The invisible cage. You live in a system that looks normal. But it's actually a cage. You were sent to school. Not to become rich, but to become useful. You were trained to follow instructions. Ask for permission. Stay in line. No one taught you how money works. No one taught you how to escape. Because a person who understands money is a person who can't be controlled. The lie you believed. You were told a story your entire life. Work hard, and you'll succeed. But look around. People are working harder than ever. And they're still broke. Why? Because hard work was never the goal. Dependence was. As long as you need a paycheck, you stay obedient. As long as you fear losing your job, you never take risks. That's not success. That's survival. The mental programming. The real trap isn't outside. It's inside your head. Every time you think, I can't afford that. That's not for people like me. I'll start later. That's not your voice. That's programming. Installed slowly, over years, through school, family, society, until you started believing it was your reality. And once you believe it, you stop trying to escape. The time trap. They gave you just enough to survive, but never enough to be free. You trade your time for money. But time is your life. Every hour you sell is an hour you'll never get back. And the worst part, you've been taught that this is normal. Work, pay bills, repeat, until one day, you're too old to do anything else. The fear loop. So why don't people escape? Fear. Fear of failure. Fear of losing security. Fear of what others will say. So they stay. In jobs they hate, in lives they didn't choose, in a system that slowly drains them, not because they can't leave, but because they've been trained not to try. The awakening. But here's the truth they don't want you to hear. The moment you see the system, you stop being controlled by it. You start asking questions. You start thinking differently. You stop accepting the life you were given. And that's where everything changes. You were programmed to stay broke. But you don't have to stay asleep. Because once you wake up, there's no going back. You'll see the patterns, the lies, the limits placed on you. And you'll realize something powerful. You were never meant to stay broke. You were just never meant to realize it. What if I told you? You're not broke because you're lazy. You're broke because you're following the rules perfectly. Yeah, the system doesn't fail you. It works exactly as designed. And the truth is, most people watching this video right now will never be rich, not because they can't, but because they've been programmed not to. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll either wake up, or you'll go right back to sleep. The illusion of hard work. From the moment you were a child, you were told one thing: work hard, and you'll succeed. So you did. You studied. You followed instructions. You got the job. And now, you're tired. You're underpaid. And somehow, still stuck. Because here's the truth nobody says out loud. Hard work does not make you rich. If it did, construction workers would be millionaires. Taxi drivers would own private jets. But they don't. Because wealth isn't built on effort. It's built on leverage. And no one taught you that. You were trained to obey. School didn't prepare you for wealth. It prepared you for employment. Think about it. You were rewarded for sitting still, following orders, memorizing information, not questioning authority. You weren't taught how money works, how to invest, how to build assets, how to think independently. You were trained to be controlled. And when you entered the real world, you didn't escape the system. You became part of it. The paycheck trap. Your salary feels safe. Every month, money comes in. Bills get paid. Life goes on. But here's the trap. Your income is limited. Your time is limited. And your freedom is controlled. You're trading your life for money that disappears. And the worst part, you think this is normal. You think this is success. But it's not. It's survival, dressed up as stability. The system profits from you. Let's be real for a second. The system doesn't want you rich. Because if you were, you wouldn't need loans. You wouldn't be stuck in jobs. You wouldn't constantly consume. The economy runs on your dependence. Your debt, your fear, your need to play it safe. You are not just a worker. You are a customer for life. Distractions are keeping you poor. Look around. Endless scrolling, entertainment, short-term dopamine. You're being distracted every single day. Not by accident, but by design. Because a distracted mind doesn't build wealth. It consumes. And while you're watching others succeed, time is quietly running out. The comfort zone is your prison. You say you want to be rich. But you also want security, comfort, no risk. And that's the problem. Because wealth lives on the other side of discomfort. Every successful person you admire took risks, faced uncertainty, walked away from safe. But most people, they stay exactly where they are. Because it feels easier. The real reason you'll never be rich. Let's strip it down to the truth. You'll never be rich if you rely only on a paycheck. You avoid risk at all costs. You consume more than you create. You follow the crowd blindly. You never invest in yourself. And most importantly, you'll never be rich if you never change the way you think. Because wealth is a mindset before it's money. How to break the cycle. Now here's the part most people ignore. Because it requires action. If you want to escape. 1. Stop trading time for money only. 2. Learn high-income skills. 3. Build assets, not expenses. 4. Invest consistently. 5. Think long-term, not instant gratification. And most importantly, start questioning everything you were taught. Because the moment you do, you stop being controlled. So here's the final question. Are you going to stay in the system? Or are you going to break it? Because now you know the truth. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. If this opened your eyes, subscribe to Wealth Pocket. Because this is just the beginning. And the next video might just change your life.